Welcome to Elevate Springfield, where we will dive into strategies and stories that help you rise to your full potential. Each episode, we'll talk about how you can take intentional steps to elevate your life and your business while making a meaningful impact on those around you. Along the way, we're going to bring in the change makers from our community that are already elevating. We'll bring the actionable strategies, you bring the discipline and follow through, and together we can elevate Springfield.
All right, let's go, Springfield. Time to 10X, time to level up. Hey, you are listening to the Elevate Springfield podcast, coming to you from the Big Dog Construction Studio in beautiful downtown Springfield. Robert Ferriell here, certified 10X coach, speaker, and mentor, here to bring you actionable strategies. You bring the discipline and follow through, and together we're going to elevate Springfield. Well, hey, you are listening to the Wellness Upgrade on Elevate Springfield, where we're going to bring you specific strategies to help elevate your health and wellness. Hey, if you're not elevating your health and wellness, you're not going to be able to elevate in all other areas. This is the baseline. You know I'm passionate about it, and you know that's why I brought this segment to Elevate Springfield. We want to thank our friends over at Shudokan Karate Club here in Springfield. Sensei Dennis and his team, over 50 years in the Springfield area. Traditional karate, teaching self-discipline, confidence, community. Traditional, powerful, real. That's Shudokan Karate Club here in Springfield. Check them out. ShudokanKarateSpringfield.com. We're going to get right to our guest after the break.
When I first walked into Shudokan Karate Club, I was just looking for a way to get stronger, but what I found was so much more. Here we train in traditional karate, the real stuff, passed down through generations. Every punch, every kata has purpose. I've learned self-discipline, confidence, and how to protect myself. Not just in class, but in real life. It's not about being aggressive, it's about being prepared. This is more than a club, it's a way of life. Join us at Shudokan, traditional, powerful, real. Kyleigh!
All right, and we are back for another edition of the Wellness Upgrade. A familiar face back in the seat today, Miss Kyleigh Melvin. How you doing, Kyleigh?
I'm doing good. How are you doing?
Fantastic. Good to have you back from the Primitive Prairie. But before we talk about our topic for the day, let everybody know what you do.
All right. Well, I'm a board-certified natural wellness practitioner, and I'm the clinical herbalist at the Primitive Prairie.
All right. So in health and wellness in general right now, there's a big concerted effort to go back to the basics, right? To get back to all natural everything. Yeah. Go back to the basics. You don't have to have all this crazy stuff. Let's go back to some principles, right?
Yeah.
So speaking of that, you presented at a homesteading conference here recently. So tell us about that.
All right. So they reached out to me, I think last spring, like it was almost a year ago, and they asked me to speak at it. And when things are really far off, it's easy to say yes because you're like, I don't have to plan for that. Not sure. No, but I didn't know anything about it. I hadn't even heard of it because it is like an hour drive from me. I think they put the tickets for sale in July, and they told me, they're like, if you have friends that want to go, last year they sold out fairly quickly. We're expecting them to sell out like within an hour, I think is what they said this year. And I was like, okay. And so I told a couple friends, and they posted them, and they were sold out in 5 minutes. And when I say sold out, I guess I should say the seats were reserved because this is a free event, which is shocking to me when I actually saw what it entailed. I think it was 80 tickets were reserved within 5 minutes, and then they had a wait list.
Awesome.
And I was like, oh, this is a big deal.
Yeah,
and I could see from the comments on social media, the women that had attended, because this is a women's homesteading conference, they'd attended before, some of them, and they were amped up. So I was like, oh, what am I getting into? This is a big deal. And what I got into is probably the coolest experience ever with what I've done. Like, it was motivating. It was awesome.
So when we say homesteading, certain things cross people's mind. What are we talking about when we're saying homesteading?
So I will tell you what I thought I was getting, because I was like, okay, they want me to speak. When she reached out to me, she said foraging and some herbal stuff. So I was like, Okay, I can do that. I love both those things. I always think, and this is how I started my presentation, these are people on the journey to self-sufficiency. But it was actually so much more than that. So I went in there with my presentation with the mindset of, I'm going to teach you how to be self-sufficient in your household. They're also in a rural area usually. So I'm like, let's look at how you can, help your family here at home, maybe some herbal medicine. Sure. But what I saw in the other speakers just completely shocked me. There was somebody presenting on raw milk. There was a girl showing you how to ferment your own drinks, your own condiments, there was somebody for everybody. Their biggest speaker of the day was on YouTube. He's called The Lunatic Farmer. Okay. And his name's Joel Salatin. And he also has a documentary on that newer Angel Network.
Okay.
He was their guest of the day, the honorary guest.
Sounds like a pretty big deal.
Yes, it was a big deal. I think at 1:00 is when they had him join. He was on video, but people would come up and ask questions from like, should I be renting farmland versus buying? Some of this was out of my wheelhouse. So the two girls that put it on are Kimberly and Kristen. And what is so awesome about them is they're passionate about this. And they told me this started during COVID in Kristen's basement. And it was 6 women, and they called themselves the Granny Gang. And I was like, what? And she said, and over time, it just grew to this. This was year 3. And it was the most well put together event because it was their spirit. They were laid back. If there was a technical difficulty, just in stride. Their big mindset in homesteading is you just learn from everything. Calm down. This is a learning experience. Right. And they were so calm and amazing and encouraging, like just a good group of people. I was like, these women are amazing.
That's awesome.
Yes, they were really cool.
So walk us through your presentation a little bit.
Okay, so I went pretty early, which I was pleased about. Another cool thing they have you do is they want you to do a PowerPoint because they actually make that available later to the guests. So they can view your PowerPoint again to get notes. I spoke on introduction to how you blend a tea based on the actions of the herbs, how to make a shelf-stable tincture, and then the top 10 herbs. And I chose these top 10 herbs based on our location. I tried to remind myself these women want to be self-sufficient. So what can you easily attain in central Illinois? And so we spoke on herbs they could easily get a hold of, and then everything they did. From earaches for your kids to memory to digestive upset. And I talked for quite a bit. I did talk for a while, but afterwards it was great. They had wonderful questions, and they all seemed genuinely interested in also simplifying their health and taking it back a bit. They all seemed to want to be going the more natural route. And I was like, this is so cool. I was like, these are my people.
Love that, right? Yeah. All of us crunchy folk, right?
Yeah. Yes, exactly. And I will say they were so inspiring. The next day I woke up and I was so tired because I had to, get up 5 a.m. And then I got home after dark too. And the next day I was having coffee. I could probably sit all day. No, I milled my own flour, made 2 loaves of bread, gifted one to my dad. One of the women there had told me she made milled flour Hot Pockets. So I made some for my husband's work all week. I was like, these women have motivated me. Like, what is happening?
On fire here.
Yeah, they are just cool. Oh, and the giveaways. So I don't know how they pulled this off either, but I think it might have been Kimberly somehow got the coolest giveaways. There was like grain mill for milling your own flour. Those are not cheap. Those range from like $100 to like $2,000. That was one of the giveaways. That's a good
giveaway.
A chicken run door that I know from experience is a couple $100. There was, one of those air doctors.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I was like,
those are awesome.
And that wasn't, there was tons of stuff like cast iron sets. I'm like, how did they do
I was thinking about getting an air doctor for my house.
Yeah.
Actually.
I was like, how did they pull this off? And if you reserved a seat, you got to put your ticket in one of the jars for one of the items. They had homemade biscuits and gravy for breakfast. They had a food truck at lunch. It is just so beautifully decorated. I told everyone, I was like, if you didn't go this year, you need to go next year.
Right.
So, and I do think I'll be speaking next year, it sounds like. So
nice.
I hope people will come back out. But that was just so motivating. It was so cool.
Do you talk about milling your own flour?
Yeah.
Do you do that a lot?
I do. I have not used store-bought flour in probably 2 years. So yes, I use all sorts of different grains. There's einkorn, spelt.
I make spelt bread all the time.
Yes. Yeah. And it makes me feel, it does taste better. I remember being worried, like, was it going to be so weedy the kids aren't going to eat it? Or And it's not. It actually, when you learn how to use the different wheat berries, it's good.
Yeah.
Some of them have like a nutty sweet flavor. I'm like, it's good.
No doubt about it. I like spelt. The other one was einkorn is what I said. That's one I've looked at a bunch of times. At Harvest Market, I see the bag of it and I've never done it.
Yeah, that's one of the ancient ones, and that has more of a nutty flavor.
Uh-huh.
But it is so good. It's so easy because you learn it's not shelf stable, because the store-bought, they have to remove a bunch of the oils so it doesn't go rancid.
Yeah.
So when you're milling your own, it's fresh. It has all those like nutrients that are lost when they're preserved. Yeah. So you pretty much get in a habit of like, when I'm cooking with this today, I'm just going to mill how much I need, and it takes 30 seconds, and then you just use it. So it seems difficult, but it's once you get in the routine, it's not.
So you just dump it into the machine and it mills it, and you're
and then
ready
I just
to
put
roll.
like a measuring cup under it and measure out how much I need for the recipe, and then I just pull it and use it. So it is actually easier than it seems. I was intimidated though. I won't lie. It was hard to get used to using it for everything, but I was like, if I don't like commit to this, I will find excuses to use flour. So I just had to commit.
I might have to go down that road, because I typically buy my spelt flour from Harvest Market or from Food Fantasy.
Yeah.
So where do you source the actual wheat berries?
Some people will source from places where there'll be like a little debris in it, like pebbles, and I don't like that. So I do spend a little more to use Farmer's Storehouse. And it's kind of cool because on your first order, you can buy these big half-gallon jars, and they'll engrave on it what kind of berry it is. And I'm like, wow, this even looks cute on my counter.
Yeah.
So I just usually use the same 3 types of berries. And because I think some of them are better for like baked goods. Like I think einkorn's better for baked goods. And then I use spelt in our bread with white wheat berries. And you get used to it. It's weird, but you do, and it's easy.
Yeah. No, I make spelt bread about once a week. I'll make a batch of it, because I normally like to have that I'll have that for breakfast with some eggs.
Yeah.
A piece of spelt bread. But how do you make your bread? Mine's very simple, and I don't know that people would like it that much, but how do you make your?
So I use honey. I'll like warm up the water and the milk a little bit, and then add in honey. Then I usually let that sit with the flour for a while so that it can all soak up all the liquid, and then I'll add the yeast, and that's it.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
Is that different?
No. Well, it is, because I don't put hardly anything in mine. Mine
Really?
almost comes out like a
Really?
almost a brownie consistency.
Really?
It's very thick. I mean, it's literally spelt water and a little salt.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's cool.
Yeah, it just comes out. Yeah, it comes out like a little brownie. It's thick,
Really?
but I
Yeah.
like it.
Because it makes it easier for making stuff with it?
Yeah.
Well, because sometimes I make homemade bread, my daughter's like, well, sometimes it falls apart.
Right.
So I was like, is it better for that? But I do like the kids will eat it. It must have a lot of flavor. Because I remember back when I would just buy whole wheat flour and make them bread, I feel like it was just too wheaty. There wasn't enough different flavors in it. And they weren't the biggest fan of that, but they love this bread.
Yeah.
So I was like, man, that made all the difference.
Well, maybe I need to go your route, because mine's, because it's kind of brownyish. It's dense. So the girls actually don't like it that much because it's dense.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think it's a flavor or taste thing. I think it's dense.
It probably is. It probably is. They're like, what is?
Right. And I don't mind it. I actually kind of like it. I mean,
yeah.
I've gotten some other bread after that, and I was like, yeah, I kind of like my dense spelt bread.
My brick bread.
My brick bread that I like. I've grown accustomed to that. It's pretty good. So I might have to try that. You also said raw milk. That's been talked about a lot recently. Of course, I mean, people are getting into raw milk more.
Yeah.
So what's up with that?
So that gal, and I feel bad I didn't get to hear all of her presentation, and I wish I would have, because there was also a microgreens lady, and she was top of my list, and I think I was kind of having a mini consultation with somebody during that, but there was somebody there for microgreens, and because that has a bunch of, people try to make that sound dangerous and stuff, so I wanted to hear how she presented that.
Yeah.
The raw milk, she actually is a raw milk farmer. And that's what's cool about they talk about every component. So she talked about how to find somebody to source raw milk from. She talked about the benefits of raw milk. She talked about if you're buying a cow, what to look for, every component of the process. And because there's something there for everybody. There's people there buying and selling cows.
Well, I mean, if you're really trying to be self-sufficient, those are the things you're looking at, right?
It was so cool. The first gal she talked about, first of all, I'm just going to say, in case she hears this, those were the best bagels I've ever eaten in my life. She was selling like homemade bagels. She's out of Greenville. But she also was the repurposed homestead. That was like her speech. And she gave the best tips on just saving money and trying. Because people don't always come into a bunch of property because they're rich. I think
Right.
people think, oh, if you have a homestead, you must have all this money for
Right,
land.
you got a big inheritance and all this stuff. Yeah.
Yes. And she just talked about how they've saved money. She even said I think she said on Marketplace, she found $35 like old fashioned washer, like one of the
Mm-hmm.
ring washer, and she was talking about that. I was like, oh my goodness, this is amazing. Just something for everybody. It
That's
was so
awesome.
cool. Yeah.
You have any idea what you're going to talk about next year?
I don't know because I
Super
told
early.
it is, but I'm already thinking because that one was just it was everything. And I felt like it really set them up to be able to go out and do it,
Mhm.
especially knowing they have a PowerPoint. I put a lot of detail on it. And that's what I was like, what do I do next? Because I want to be able for them to have a lot of takeaways for their home. So I don't know if I'll just do foraging because I kind of covered that. I covered like stuff to forage with your kids.
Sure.
Because I'm big on that. So I talked.
Oh yeah,
about
we've
that.
talked about that.
Yeah. So, but I think I might still play off that because I think there's gonna be a lot of new people. I had a ton of people after that be like, "How do I get tickets for this?" And I was like, "Get ready because they're gonna be gone really quickly." So
Yeah, no, you could do some of the same stuff. And
Yes.
just add some more to it on
Yes.
the back end of it.
I don't know how those women do it, and their kids are hard workers too. They're good people. It was really cool.
Yeah. Any other takeaways in that? I mean, you're deep into this stuff too, but anything you took from that day that we haven't talked about already to say, hey, I'm gonna
I know.
implement that into my life.
I know I would have taken from the microgreens. That's why I was like, I
Uh-huh.
really wish I would have heard more of that. I did. So the lunatic farmer, I did catch him telling. So I wish I would have remembered which gal it was, but he was telling her she needs a commercial kitchen. I'm like, that's kind of on my to-do list. That
Right?
I really did enjoy her talk about the repurposed homestead. It was talking a lot about just appreciating what you can get in bulk when you can get it and learning how to store it and repurpose it and reuse it. And that's something I wish I did more of. So that's something I took away and really just their drive, just being around those women. That in itself, like they're all supportive of each other. They're encouraging. They're not going to get rid of me now. I might just be like having to paint it to hang out with them all the time.
Heck yeah, go for it.
I do want to say they have other events all year. And I think I'd be doing them a disservice if I didn't say that. They have seed swaps. And they don't charge for any of this plant swaps. I think she even said they make Christmas crafts together. And
yeah?
so like they have
Wow.
all sorts of events to try to create this community of women that are like-minded. So it's really cool.
Tons of stuff.
Yes,
Yeah.
tons of stuff. That's
Yeah.
what I'm saying. I'm like, when do you guys have time to like care of your homesteads? When do you do
Right,
this?
right.
It's amazing.
No, I love it. So
Yeah.
much great stuff.
Yeah.
Helping people get back to the
Yeah.
basics on some of this stuff.
That is for sure. It is cool. And she did say it was inspired by COVID. So
Yeah.
I was like, that makes sense.
No doubt
That's
about
when
it.
she said it started. So I was like, I could see that.
Any other takeaways maybe for homesteading newbies, people that are just getting into this stuff?
Newbies.
Any couple of things you
know what?
could tell them from that day to help them get started on it?
There were a lot of women there that were newbies. And what I took, and I heard the lunatic farmer say this, as he likes to call himself, you can start small. You can do anything with a few acres. You can rent it if you need to. If you're nervous about buying, he rents a ton of acreage to rent his stuff off of. You can start however small you want. And even I have herbalist friends that live in town and have their herbal garden in their backyard. Like you don't have to be out in the country to have this mindset and try to simplify your life and do things for yourself. You don't have to. It's just because I feel like that was what I thought I was going to be going. Like I was like, this is going to be like a lot of like farmer. And it wasn't. It was honestly a lot of people that live in town and you can still do it. You can do it no matter what your setup is.
No doubt about it.
Yeah.
Well, what's new at the Primitive Prairie?
Oh, that was the big thing on my list. I do have a ton of classes coming up. I'm talking with someone in Taylorville right now for classes. We're going to be doing a 4-part series in Petersburg at Moonbeams and Magpies. We're going to do like an hour and a half on every part of having your own apothecary, which will be nice because I'll be able to get really in depth and make sure they have the correct tools to feel confident in it. So that'll be cool.
Very cool.
Yeah.
You started a group too, right?
Yes, I did start a group. It's actually has a lot to do with like endocrine disruptors. It's a lot about balancing hormones, specifically in women, because men have imbalanced hormones too. But women, they go through so many changes in their life. It's much more apparent, I feel like, in them. So we're talking about how sleep plays into that, how those endocrine disruptors can disrupt your hormones and just your day-to-day life and your diet and your exercise. So we're breaking it down. So it's going to be like work. It's not like a quick fix. It's
Right.
putting in work to reset your body. And I'm giving them a month to do it. It's almost like a challenge group.
I love that.
So I hope they're up for it. Yeah, we just started last week. So I'm hoping at the end of this month they feel energized and they feel different. That's what I'm hoping for, that they can commit and at the end of it feel a difference.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, anything that's worthwhile is worth working at,
that's
right?
right.
You gotta
That's
put in the
right.
time, you gotta put in the effort.
Yep, that's
So,
right.
Very cool. Well, if somebody wants to be a part of any of those things that you just talked about,
Yeah.
where do they go?
So I have those all listed on my Facebook at the Primitive Prairie. If you just put that in, I have all the event links for the stuff at Moonbeams and Magpies in Petersburg and the school link if they wanted to get, and that's SKOOL. Because my husband saw my flyer. He's like, that's not how you spell school.
I think you,
I'm
you misspelled
it's
school,
like-
right? Right.
But that group's called the Rooted Women's Circle. If somebody went on there and searched it, I'm on Instagram, or you can reach out to me at theprimitiveprairie.com.
There you go. Well,
Yep.
Appreciate you coming by as always.
Thank you.
Stuff. That conference sounds pretty awesome.
It is
So,
awesome.
yeah.
It is cool.
All right. Well, we're going to let Kyleigh get back to elevating Springfield. For the rest of y'all, we'll be right back. Hey, Springfield, when it comes to reliable, high-quality roofing, you don't want to leave things to chance. That's why you should reach out to Acosta Angeli Roofing, your local roofing expert, serving Springfield and surrounding communities. From quick, dependable repairs to full replacement, from residential to commercial, they are your trusted pros. Call them today at 217-993-2748 or visit their website to book your free quote and inspection. Don't wait. A little leak now could lead to major damage later. Trust the local experts, protect your home, and get peace of mind with Acosta Angeli Roofing. Well, thank you for joining us today, everybody. Appreciate you making us a part of your day. Hope you're enjoying these quick hits of actionable strategies here on the Wellness Upgrade on Elevate Springfield. Thank you again to Shudokan Karate Club. Hey, take what you learned today. You bring the discipline and follow through, and together, that's right, y'all, we're going to elevate Springfield. Be great. Looking for expert tree care with hometown integrity? Look no further than Sangamon Tree Service. They're your trusted local pros, delivering quality workmanship, exceptional customer service, and fair, honest pricing every time. Whether it's trimming, removal, or storm cleanup, their team brings professionalism and care to every job, big or small. Call the name your neighbors trust, Sangamon Tree Service, or visit them today at sangamontreeservice.com. Sangamon Tree Service, rooted in quality, built on trust.